Hello and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. It's very nice to be on the show today. Now, I was just thinking about what we could talk about, and I think sort of probably the most important thing that spirit sort of do for us, the spirit world do for us, and that is healing. And it's just incredible how they are able to heal in many cases. Now, obviously, the first sort of, method of healing is when some, a medium will put their hands on you and do hands-on healing. And again, there's some remarkable results from that. And, there's no sort of guarantees. And I think I was always told by the spirit world that if we are meant to receive the healing, then we will. But they work on many levels. They work on the sort of physical, the mental, and the emotional level. So it depends on sort of, what is your need, in other words. But the other thing that healing can be done. Now, I, as a medium, I sit for an hour every day. And in that hour, I will invite my guides to come forward, and they will do, I will send out healing. And what I've done is I've created a list of all the people that want healing. And, funnily enough, I said to my guides, I said, should I be, reading out this list to you every time I sit to do healing? And his answer was, no, because it will get too long. So I just sort of say, and here's my list, and I open it up because it's always on my computer, and I open it up, and they work from there, and so I, that's something I do. I sit there for an hour with spirit sending out healing, and I do that every day for an hour, 7 days a week. And I try to do that regardless of what's going on in my life. And every now and again, I might slip and not do it that day. But on the whole, it's sort of every day. And I absolutely love the healing because it gives you that. It gives you the vibration that the spirit world work with. This is something interesting that you may not be aware of, but I see all this light coming sort of to me and then through me, and they're working with sort of my energy and their energy, and it makes me feel sort of really, really sort of relaxed as well when I'm sending out sort of healing. So that's sort of a little bit about healing, but there are other methods. For instance, like I could do a reading that is very healing because the words can be healing, or and that's again that's spirit working through me, and then perhaps you could be speaking to a friend and giving advice and cup of tea and that's healing, and so. There's many ways to be a healer, but healing is so important in our world. And if we pray or send out thoughts to those, people that we feel need healing, or if we pray and send out thoughts to the atrocities that are happening in the world, it can make a huge difference, an absolute huge difference. Anyway, I know that we have some callers waiting, and I have Amaya in York, Pennsylvania. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Amaya. Amaya. Hello. And how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. And so it must be about 3:10 in the afternoon there. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm a medium, and I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can look for guidance from my guides. Is there a particular place where you'd like me to focus, or a particular way that you'd like me to work?
I've been trying to connect to one of my best friends who passed away like 3 years ago.
Right. Okay, is this female? Because I'm just checking to see, because I might get a male through and think, oh, that's not it. Just, Amaya, is she female? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Right. Okay. The first thing that I'm hearing is I feel that her passing was unusual circumstances. Would you understand that? Because
Yes,
I don't feel like, when if we have a young person, we go to sort of two things that happen sort of so many times. But I think with Amaya, the words I'm getting is it was unusual circumstances.
Yes, that's true.
And I feel that when I look at her personality, I see her as being quite an incredible woman. Somebody who I feel like she lifts people's spirits, or sort of she's a really. I feel these words wouldn't just do her justice, but she's a really good person. But I feel like she's almost, better than that. It's almost like she's an earth angel. Like she's so good to many people, and I feel that I feel like she's very charitable of nature, and I don't know whether she was involved particularly with charity, or it was just her personality of being very charitable in the way that she conducted her life. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, that makes total sense to me, yes.
And I feel that she's making me feel as though there were times when she would help you, but I feel that there's also times when you helped her. Because I feel like you were, and I'm getting the word confidant. So I don't know why I'm getting confidant. So it's like you were a confidant for each other. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, that makes completely sense to me. And I've always said that.
Oh, right. So that's why I'm getting it.
Yes.
See, the thing is with me, Amaya, is I get nosy, and I look at it and I think, why did you give me that word? That's the problem with me as a medium, and I need to get myself out of the way and just give what I get. And she's saying to me that she's making me feel as though in her funeral, there was something that you did that was like a special tribute to her. Would you understand that? It was something that you did special for her. And she's showing me an image of some flowers, and you're putting them down somewhere.
Yes, I gave roses to her mother after the funeral was over.
Right. Okay. I knew it was something to do with flowers, and there's also a ribbon around the bottom of the flowers as well.
Yes.
And she's saying to me that whilst she's very, very happy in the spirit world, she's making me feel as that you are one of the biggest losses to her. As sort of because she's making me feel as though there was nothing that it's like there's a closeness that is every day, speaking to each other all the time, and she feels, and she's saying to me, I'm all right in the spirit world, I'm getting on with things, but the thing is she makes me feel as though she's like she's got her right arm cut off, and of course she hasn't, but she makes me feel like that. it's just like a figure of speech. That whenever anything happens, she can't go to you and say, oh, guess what happened?
Yeah.
She can't do that, and she's so sort of she's so frustrated about that, because she says so many things are happening to her in the spirit world, and she can't come and tell you. And she says you were always the go-to to sort of tell what was going on. She's showing me a bed, and she's showing me a teddy bear, and there's something, or I don't know whether it's like a stuffed animal, like I don't know whether it's a teddy bear or another animal, but I know there's like a toy animal on the bed somewhere, and she's making me feel. I just saw that in my clairvoyance. Would you understand that? There's something significant about that.
Yes. On Easter, the year of her passing, we had gotten matching stuffed animals, and we always kept it with each other.
Right. And I feel like there's a name on the stuffed animal as well. There's some writing on it. There's some writing.
I would have to look. I'm not sure if there is or not.
Okay. Have a look.
Okay.
And also, I feel that a lot of the things that each other would buy, the other one would buy as well. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that both of you had, like I don't know, and she's keeping me in the bedroom, because I feel like it's things in the bedroom that there are a lot of things that are similar, and she's making me feel that she knows your family very well, and you know her family very well. That's the feeling she makes. Because she makes me feel as though you would spend time in her family home, and vice versa. And she's also making me feel like, because she's showing me like you would do that when you were quite young. Like, 'cause I feel like you've known each other from a young age.
Yes.
And is there something significant at the age of 13 or 14 that happened?
Involving like me, I had tried to hurt myself when I was that age. That was the first time I ever tried.
Right, because she just sort of brought that time to me. Like there's something that happened at that time.
Yes.
And she made, because I
believe her father had passed away at that time as well.
Right. But she's making me feel as though she was really like she makes me feel like it really hit her hard. At that time, sort of like I feel like I'm very like in her mind, she can't lose you. She's like she can't lose you. And I feel that was sort of quite a distressing time for her. And I'm just asking her if she's met up with her father. So I'm just asking her that, because that would be nice to know, wouldn't it?
Yes, it definitely would.
She said, of course, I'm with him. And she says that she's making me feel as though she has a very close relationship with him. And there's a deep love with her father. And she makes me feel as though it's like she doesn't have favourites, but her dad is her favourite.
Yes, definitely. It was a daddy's girl all the way.
Yeah. It's like she loves her mum, but it's daddy. and so she wants you to know that she's connected with her dad, and it's really sort of really nice to be with her. I'm just asking her for the last message, because I've got another call awaiting, and it's so sad because it's only about 5-10 minutes that we get for a reading, and I know sort of like when people enjoy the reading, they're sort of settling down for the evening.
Yes.
but you can find me on Facebook, and my name is Gail Moffat. So if you need to connect with me or, ask any questions, that's fine. But she just wants to, her last thing that she wants to say to you is, Amaya, is that she really values this life because of your friendship with each other. She makes me feel like you were almost like twins.
Yes.
and it's like glued to each other. And she's just saying thank you for being my friend. And she's just showing me a book where you're doing some writing, and I don't know whether, have you been writing a journal, or is there some sort of writing?
I went on and off after she passed. I haven't really been doing it lately, but I was.
Yeah. Well, she's read the words that you've written. And she understands what you've written and why you've written it. And she just wants to thank you for being in her life and being her best friend. Obviously, you've got a whole life ahead of you, and there's no predictions of when you're going to the spirit world. But what I do know is when the time does come, whether, you might be an 80-year-old woman or whatever, but when the time does come, you will be, she will be meeting you. She's making that very clear, that she will be there to collect you. And so you will see her again, which is lovely.
Yes.
But Amaya, I'm so sorry it's so short. Thank you very much for calling in, and lovely to speak with you, and also to connect your lovely friend.
So
she's adorable. I love her. But thank you very much. Thank you. Now I have Donna in Fairlawn, New Jersey. Are you there, Donna?
Yes, I'm there. How are you, Gail?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So I am a medium, and I can connect to loved ones in the spirit world, or I can look at, focus on some aspect of your life. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
Well, I have, I guess maybe on the mediumship, because I've lost a lot of people that I feel a lot of turmoil with every day and every night. I try to communicate with them at night myself, and I have no success.
Yeah, they're probably there though. That's the annoying thing when you feel you don't have any success. But what my advice to you is that if you speak out the words that you would like to say to them, they will hear you. So remember that. Even though you can't hear back, they will hear you.
Okay.
Is there somebody in particular that you'd like me to connect with? Because we've only got about 8 minutes left of the show.
Well, my both of my parents are deceased, and my Uncle Al, who was like a stepfather to me, I lost him about 2 years ago. Very painful, because he was the man who walked me down the aisle when I got married.
Wow.
And it was very sudden with him. Well, even with my mom.
Yeah.
My mom, I was 13 and a half. I wasn't ready for that. It feels like, there was so much left to be said, but we didn't get a chance to say it.
Well, your mum
I just want to know that they're okay.
Yeah, well, your mum is standing in front of me, and she's arm in arm with a gentleman, and I'm hearing the words Uncle Al, and so I feel that she's met up with him, and they're arm in arm in the spirit world, and I'm going all tingly, so I know I've absolutely got that right.
Oh, that's beautiful. I am too.
Yeah, and she's got, it's interesting because she's actually all dressed up. She's got a hat on for some reason, and she's got sort of her nice clothes on, quite sort of old-fashioned sort of clothes that she's wearing, but she's making me feel as though it's funny how they show you these things. She's making me feel as though they're going somewhere special right now. and she's come in to sort of, say hello, and then they're going off somewhere. But she's saying to me that it was very important for her to be there when your uncle or your stepfather, when he passed away, because she's making me feel as though as much as he missed her, she missed him. And she's saying to me that he was a little bit lost without her, that he sort of, it's almost as though he never really got over losing her. Would that make sense to you?
Didn't. Yes, because he used to say that to me. I used to ask him how come he wouldn't date anybody or remarry, and he said, no. Your mother's in the cemetery waiting for me, and he was lost without her. Yeah. And so was my Uncle Al. That was his only sister.
Yeah. And so I feel with your stepfather that he is he's so, it's like he's delighted that he's with your mum. I just feel the sort of I can feel in him the pain that he had as a result of not being with her. It's like they were meant to be with each other in this life. And I feel that on some level, both of them were very healing for each other. And I feel that your mum definitely had a lot of healing from him when she got together with him, because she's making me feel as though her first relationship, I feel, with your father wasn't as good as she would have liked. Would that make sense to you?
No, it was horrible. It was horrible. Wow.
And she's making me feel as though she was it's like, she makes me feel like she was terrorized by life, and sort of,
she
was struggling to sort of live in a proper way. When your stepfather came along, he was kind, he was gentle, he was just loving, he was everything that your father wasn't, and she just fell over head over heels in love with him, and they were just so sweet. They were just so sweet together. I feel like they would do sort of little romantic things or little kind gestures for each other all the time.
They never fought. I never knew what a fight was with my parents. Never.
And they always sort of would do things for each other, and very kind. And I mean, it was just an extraordinary, loving relationship that they had. And I feel with them that they're both extremely happy to finally be with each other, because I feel with them that both of them were lost without the other one. Because whilst your mum, I do feel with your mum that she had her difficulties in the spirit world, but she was okay, but she just feels like everything is complete, everything is okay, everything is nice now that she's with her husband.
Wow. Is
there something that is there a reading that is significant to your family that you may have done at either at a wedding or a funeral that has been done more than once? Because they're referring to this reading, and I feel that it's quite poignant that I need to bring it up.
I read at my stepfather's funeral, and then at my Uncle Al's funeral, and I totally broke down at both of them, but I managed to get through them.
And was it the same reading? Because I feel like it's the same.
Pretty much, yes, because my stepfather was so good to me while he was alive, and my Uncle Al, after both my parents had died, he kind of stepped in and took their place. So it was pretty much the same thing, thanking them for all of their guidance and their love.
Yeah. Your Uncle Al is here, but I feel that he's just saying to me, I want to let you know that I am here with your parents, but I didn't want to take over because I knew that it was important that you first heard from your mother and your stepfather and how they've been reunited and how they're together.